Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Everyone, I am your host, Dr. Rosalind Willis, better known as Coach Roz, the Birthing Purpose Coach. I remind everyone that I know that as long as you have a post, you have a purpose. You have something in this world that only you and you alone can do. Now, International Internship University, better known as IIU, brings to you a talk show to inspire successful living to give wings to your dreams. IIU is a leading virtual education system and global brand confederation, which is a valuable and trusted worldwide and well reputed in delivering innovative programs globally. It is a trusted name for quality training programs and is committed to providing better and virtual education to all the young learners of the globe. In a short span of time, IIU has spread its wings in 109 countries and 6 continents under the strong leadership of its visionary founder, Sir Mr. Piyush Pandit, a committed and inspiring social activist, a passionate educationist from the last 2 decades, providing education to students from various social and cultural backgrounds. Now, today, I want to welcome my guest to the show, an amazing leader, Professor Dr. Shauli Mukherjee. Professor Dr. Shauli Mukherjee, with a purposeful career in the education space, spanning over more than 20 years, Professor Shauli has dedicated her life towards promotion of child-centric and activity-oriented education, a passionate educationist, and a global thought leader with a background of setting up and leading new age K through 12 schools. Dr. Mukherjee had been the founder of principal of Adamus World School and STEM World School, the first STEM school in West Bengal. Under her inspiring leadership, STEM World School has been ranked and awarded as the second best international day school in West Bengal by Education World. Dr. Mukherjee has also held senior academic and administrative positions in some of the reputed colleges of West Bengal. She ardently believes that the purpose of meaningful education is to develop lifelong learners, creative thinkers, and responsible global citizens who are confidently equipped to face the challenges of an uncertain and constantly unfolding future. All through her career in education, she has actively contributed to and spearheaded the process of creating a personalized, engaging, and stress free curriculum for learners of all age groups. She has been the recipient of numerous awards and accolades, including the National Quality Excellence Award, the Gem of India Award, Sarvapalli Radharshi Award, National Education Leaders Award in the category of commitment to excellence in education, World Peace Award, to name a few. We want to welcome, welcome, welcome my dear friend. Welcome, Dr. Shauli, to the stage. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Rosalind. It's absolutely a pleasure to be here on this platform, especially since I know you for, quite a long time. And
Yes,
it's absolutely, I'm right, really excited,
same
I'm
here.
looking forward to this conversation with you today.
Same here. It's always a pleasure and an honor. It's been some years that we've known each other, and so I'm very honored to share this platform with you. So please tell us. I told a little bit of your amazing bio, but tell my audience that is listening in, who is Dr. Shauli?
Well, you have not actually told a little about my bio. I think you have. Thank you so much for that warm introduction of yours. And I think you have covered almost all the facets of my career as an academician. Yes, it has been almost 23 years now that I have been associated with the sector of education. And currently, I'm associated with the higher education sector as the Director, School of Education, and Associate Dean, Professor of English for a School of Liberal Arts and Culture Studies at one of the premier and reputed universities of Eastern India, named Adamas University. So that's what I do on the career perspective. Apart from that, well, I'm an inspirational speaker. And Rosalind, you know it very well that you will almost find me, very frequently and regularly in national and international forums, speaking about education, women empowerment, youth empowerment, mental health, and a host of other topics.
Yes. And you speak very well. And I love to hear you speak.
Thank
It's
you so much.
always so informative and passionate, So I love that. Will you tell me what is your definition of successful living?
Very interesting question because success means uh, very, very different things to different people. For some, success may be, when you are really doing exceptionally well in your career front. For some, it may be, uh, well, when you are at the height of your material fulfillment. Well, Rosalind, for me, success is something, or it's a state of mind when you are actually aligned to the very core of who you are, when you know your purpose of life, when you know that you are existing here on the face of planet Earth because you really have to contribute and you really have to give something back. Well, that's what success means to me. A very, very passionate and purposeful existence.
Yes. Well said. When you think about, like you said, a state of being or of the mindset, you can be as you may not have a penny in your pocket, but if your state of mind is clear and you feel good about who you are and you're healthy, that is your wealth. Your health is your wealth, your mindset, your healthy mindset. So I agree with you totally. I love the way that you explained that. I really do. So tell me, what is your passion?
Basically, I'm a passionate person. And you have to understand that a person who has actually spent 23 years of her life in one particular profession must be that person loves that profession and is very, very passionately involved with it. Yes, Rosalind, I'm a person who has actually turned my passion into my profession. So when I say I'm an academician, I always wanted to be an academician.
Wow.
And this is exactly what I'm doing right now. And this is something that I'm committed to do in the future as well. So for me, passion means a very, very strong, yearning or a desire to do something which motivates you to get up from your bed each and every morning with the same energy and the same positive vibration. That is passion. Passion is something which will not allow you to droop down under pressure when things are not going that great around you, because you have that vision, because you know what you have to do, because you know what is the purpose of your life. So, well, that is passion when you're conscious about what exactly you would like to do with this precious life of yours. That's passion.
Yes. Well, well said. You know, I believe your passion drives you to your purpose. And it's almost like, when you think about the rocket ship taking off and all of that fire that's underneath that pushes you, that's what your passion does. It pushes you toward your purpose. And you're right. You're an educator. You educate children and young adults, and it takes a special kind of calling, and I say anointing, to be able to do what you do. And I celebrate you and I honor you for all of the things you've done to help make our world better, my sister. I pause to say that to you because you're right. You have to have passion to show up, and not only uh, uh, educate, but have the passion to consistently over years show up, pour into our young adults, pour into them to make them better individuals. So, I mean, I know as an educator, it is not always easy, especially when you're dealing with other people's kids. When you're dealing with your own kids, it's already a challenge. But when you're dealing with someone else's kids from someone else's house, it's a whole nother challenge. And I just, like I say again, as an educator, I understand. You have to have that passion. You have to. You have to.
Very true, Rosalind. I would just like to add that, while working with the kids, while working with the children, and in fact, children of all age groups,
Yes.
it's definitely not challenging. At least I don't feel so, because kids are wonderful.
Yes. Yes.
It's a blessing to work with them. The problem is when you have to work with a lot of adult mindsets around you who have a very restrictive viewpoint about
Mhm.
education. That is where the problem starts. Kids are just wonderful, but the problem is with those mindsets, including parents sometimes,
Yes.
when they think when they think that everything is right, but it's my child who needs to be fixed. It's my
Wow.
child who has to be fixed. No children in this world needs to be fixed,
Mm,
for the
that's
basic
good.
fact that they are not broken at the very first instance. They're not
Gotcha.
broken. They're completely whole.
Hmm.
So they definitely do not need any fixing. If any fixing is required at any point of time, it's our mindset that requires a real fix.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, you said it. You said it. That when you think about children, and I deal with a lot of my grands. I'm a nana of 13, and they range in age, and I think they teach us so much. You know what I'm saying? Especially this generation, they teach us so much. They teach us a lot about love. If we pay attention as we pour into them, there's things that we can learn from them as well. So yes, you are correct on that. I think the challenges become the challenges within, more than the challenges without. So yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I have a question for you. If you could go back in time and give a message to your 10-year-old self, what would that message be?
Wow. That really needs a little bit of, introspection.
Mhm.
Um, well, I think I would tell my 10-year-old self to be a bit more patient and to understand the fact that everything in life does not need your reaction and response.
Mm.
And I think with a little bit of more patience and a little bit of better understanding, you would definitely realize at a point in your life that everything that is happening around you, whether you like it or not, happens for a very, very larger cause. It happens for a reason. So that is exactly what I would like to tell my 10-year-old self. Be a bit more patient.
That patience right there. That's a good one. That patience. We learn patience through sometimes the most I could say tedious transitions in our lives. So that's a good one. Patience. Patience, patience, my dear. Patience. Tell us, what is your favorite part about being an educator?
almost the entire thing. I cannot, it's very difficult for me to single out one particular reason, which is which is the best part of being an educator. I'm so very passionately involved with this particular profession because I feel, Rosalind, that it's not only educating someone. When I say that I'm an educator, I'm an academician, well, I'm that person, that magical person who has that rare gift of touching, inspiring, and impacting the lives of many people around me almost on a daily basis.
Yes.
So it's that magic, it's that power, it's that tremendous sense of responsibility which I carry with myself. So if I really have to single out with a little bit of difficulty, well, I'll tell you this particular point, that it's wonderful to become, to be an educator and to be in touch with those wonderful children almost on a daily basis. And you know what? The best part is you forever remain young because you are in the company of young people always. So you never get to get old, actually. We all dread getting old. So you really do not get old when you are in this particular profession because you're surrounded by wonderful, beautiful young people almost on a daily basis. I think that's the best part.
Yes. Yes, I agree. We never get young because we get to be around the youth and see their youthfulness. And yes, 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 yes. I love it. I love it. That was good. Tell us about the futuristic and transformative roles of education. Just, talk to us for a little bit about, you know, what where you see everything going, and just explain a little bit of that for us, please.
Yeah, a lot of changes, I would say. While I celebrate myself being an academician and an educator, I have to say this with a pinch of salt that what is actually required currently is a complete redefinition and reimagination of education. What goes on in the name of education has to give way to education in the real sense of the term. Because we have to admit that our histories have changed, our geographies have changed, but unfortunately enough, our education system has almost remained the same. It is still the essential byproduct of the 19th century industrial revolution, which still promotes a one-size-fits-all educational structure, where a teacher knows that he or she has to teach the same thing to the same class and the same way, and perhaps on the same day. Now, this has to give way to a kind of a system which is really meaningful and productive and fulfilling, which recognizes the fact that each and every child is born with a unique blueprint, with the capability of creativity and innovation, and with that capacity of creating a unique world of difference around him or her. So the very basic fact is that everybody is different. All children, they are different. They have their different preferences, likes, dislikes, talents, passion. So our education system has to realize this diversity. So it's not about universalization. It's almost, it's not about compliance and conformity. I'm really saddened by the fact that our system gives a lot of importance to compliance and conformity, neglecting the very basic fact that education thrives on diversity. In fact, human life thrives on diversity. See, we all are different from each other, and that's our strength, right?
Right.
Just imagine a world where there are millions of people and they're all same. How boring that world would be, right?
Yes.
So we have to understand and realize that each and every child is very, very different. So if they're different, then what we need is not a uniform kind of a system, but rather a personalized, a customized kind of an education system. That is the need of the hour. And that actually is the future of education, or rather should be the future of education. In fact, I'm so very passionate about this particular point. I always feel, Rosalind, that, it's not about a change that is required, rather a paradigm shift. We need a paradigm shift, and nothing short of a revolution will actually work for our current education system. Everything needs to change. And to start off with, what is mostly needed is a change of your mindset.
I agree. That's the first thing, is a change of the mindset. What's the next thing?
I think when the mindset is transformed, Rosalind, the next steps are absolutely easy. Because the blockage is caused by your mindset. It's caused by your restrictive mindset, because you have a preconceived notion that how education should be. I have been educated in this way, so my children should be educated in this way. My grandchildren should also be educated in the same manner, the manner in which I have been educated. Now, this mindset has to go. It's a completely different world. 21st century world is a VUCA world. It's a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world where we are faced with unheard of challenges almost on a daily basis. When we stand here today, 3 years, in retrospect, who had even thought that a virtual and an online system of education would thrive?
Right. Wow.
So our we believe that everything is linear. Everything will happen in a prescribed manner. No, it is not. Life is not prescriptive. It's organic. It's happening each and every moment. Our lives are created by the moments, right? And who can actually, predict the moments that are going to come? So the magic happens, life happens in a moment. So if that is so, and if that is very true about life, that should also be true about education. Because how can you divorce education from life?
Right. That's true. You can't. I love that. Life happens in a moment. And I know when you meet each child, like you said earlier, I love that, the way you said that they all come with a specific blueprint, and it's just like our fingerprints. They're all different. They're unique. No one has the same fingerprints. So each child is different and unique, and they bring something special, each one. So if we, like you say, as educators and dealing with education, accommodate each individual child, that's where the transformation comes in. Instead of trying to turn everybody into robots and want everybody to be the exact same, the boring, life that it would be if we take these beautiful personalities away, and the personality and the passion that they have and their uniqueness is what makes them who they are. So yes, well said, well said, well said. I'm loving this, loving it. Okay, so what is your message to young girls and boys out there listening?
Well, to our current youth, I would only like to say that, the world is not interested about how much you know, but the world is definitely interested and impacted at the same time by what you decide to do with what you know. And for that, it is so vitally important for each one of us to know why we are doing what we are doing.
Mhm.
So this why is very important. Rosalind, I cannot tell you this enough. A significant part of my life had been meaningfully invested in order to find out my why. It has also not come very easily to me. But trust me, Rosalind, the day I had found my why, the what and how of my life had followed. So this is exactly what I would, like to disseminate among the youth of today. And in fact, almost on a regular basis, this is the kind of a message through storytelling that I give my students as well, that find out your why. And do not rest till you get your why. It's a journey, but trust me, it's a journey worth taking. Because the day you find it, you will realize that the real fight had never existed outside. The real fight had always been within you. It's always those voices in our heads that are telling us that you're not good enough, that you cannot do this. It's tough. It's really tough out there. Do not venture out. So it's always those voices. So you have to learn the art of silencing your own voice that is causing you a lot of trouble and disharmony in your life. That's an art. You have to learn it. And unfortunately, there is nobody around you who will teach you the art of doing it. You have to walk that path of your life, and you have to realize as to how to put an end to those voices. And especially, yes, one thing I would definitely like to, share. Since you said that, what is the message to young girls, especially for the young girls? I would like to say that in spite of a lot of transformation that had happened around us, we call ourselves empowered, educated, modernized. In spite of all that, Rosalind, there is a tremendous pressure on the young girls. Tremendous pressure. And do you know what that pressure is? That pressure is of conformity.
Mhm.
That pressure is of pleasing other people in your life. The pressure is to be of value to everyone around you, neglecting yourself. That's the pressure. And hence, since childhood, we are always trained to be good daughters, good sisters, and good wives. But we are never trained that we are very, very special to ourselves, and we must learn to love ourselves. And we must learn to accept ourselves the way we are. We have to learn to be comfortable in our own skin. Sadly enough, that training is never given to us. Never given to us. But then I believe that real empowerment is realizing that you do not have to please anybody.
Right.
You do not have to be in that impossible race of perfectionism. No, you don't have to be. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. You are a magic and miracle in yourself. Please realize your magic, your power, your uniqueness, and find beauty in your simplicity, in your rawness, in your courage, and in your vulnerability. That is exactly where your power lies, when you accept yourself the way you are. And you do not try to mold yourselves according to the thoughts and desires and, thought patterns of other people around you. I think that's the power. And this is something that I have to say and I have to share among the young girls.
I agree 100%. You nailed it. We that's not something that is really instilled it in us. And so we, as educators, as leaders, um I know even with me as a mother, I started at home with my girls. I have two teenage girls, and that's something that I instill in them and I pour in them, that you have value, that you matter, you are valuable, and literally giving them a mirror and allowing them to make declarations over themselves. The biggest competition that you have is your own competition with yourself. Show up better tomorrow than you were today. You know what I'm saying? If you focus on the inward, you won't be moved by the outward. And that's something that I pour into my girls. If you focus on you, these people out here, they don't matter. This is your focus. And so yes, I agree with you 100%. Yes, 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 yes. And so that was very, very strong for a message for our young girls. What about our young boys?
Yeah, of course. For our young boys, I think they have to learn the art of respecting women the way they are. I think
Yes.
that's very important. Often, the problem happens when we have so much of expectations
Mm-hmm.
caused by, it can be caused by, a variety of reasons. I have seen my mother being so, and hence I would like you to be like this. No, everybody is unique. Please realize that. I mean, that is the art, and this needs to be inculcated. I think the parents have a very big role in inculcating this among the young boys of today. The art of respect, the art of respecting women for who they are and for what they do. And to realize that women, they do not need any kind of, discount
Mm-hmm.
for the kind of, I mean, they do not need any permission to be the way they are. No,
Yes.
please realize this.
Good.
So I think this is something, as mothers, as fathers, and even as parents, educators, we all have this responsibility of inculcating this among our young boys. And especially, I'm a mother of, twin boys.
Oh
So
wow.
I can tell you from my experience. So it's not only what you are seeing almost on a daily basis, your mother, what she's doing, what she's talking, how she's carrying herself. That's fine. That's one aspect. But don't
Mm-hmm.
expect everyone to be like her. Everyone has a unique, characteristic, and try to respect that.
It's
This is
true.
a kind of a training that has to happen.
I agree. I agree with you 100%. I want to thank the viewers that's tuning in. We have a comment here. It said, people dream of a successful, peaceful, and loving life. In order for each person to make life a pleasure and not an endless suffering, several important factors need to be taken into account. True, true. We want, it's the same. We have to be the change we want to see. We want a beautiful world, we want a peaceful world, but we have to be peaceful. We have to be the very change that we want to see in our world. It begins with us. It begins with us. Yes, yes. Success in life for me means to learn to think positively. I know from experience that negative feelings and thoughts are a hindrance, but I can't help myself. I want to change that. But see, you can help yourself because you are wanting to change that. That's how you help yourself, is to change that. To even admit that those negative thoughts is something that you have to change. This is to one of our listeners as well. So very well. Yes, yes, yes. This is good. Did you want to comment on any of that?
Negativity, I think, Rosalind, we all have a negativity bias. That's how our human brain is conditioned. So
Mm-hmm.
we all have this negativity bias. So whenever anything happens, the first thing that we tend to think is, about something which is negative, because we are prone to that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to blame anybody for this, but this is how our brain has been conditioned because of the way in which we have been living
Mm-hmm.
in our ancestral times. So that fear, that insecurity, very much there in our system. But it needs a conscious, working on yourself. So when
Mm-hmm.
we say that, uh, give time and invest your energy in doing this, please invest your time and energy judiciously on yourself as well.
Yes.
You are your greatest treasure.
Mm-hmm.
Please remember, you can never, never pour from an empty cup. You can
Yes.
never do that. Hence, self love and giving a lot of importance to yourself, spending quality time, me time with yourself, and working on yourself. The
Yes.
last point is working on yourself. It's important because you actually have to come in terms with the kind of problems that you face on a regular basis. It's not about
Mm-hmm.
something that suddenly happens to you. No, things happen in our lives as a kind of a pattern. So if you have a whole lot of broken relationships in your life, it's not because you're a victim of something
Mm-hmm.
or you are a sorry soul, things are happening to you. No, it's not that. It's time for you to introspect. It's time for
Right.
you to reflect, to self reflect, that why are these things happening to me in my life as a kind of a pattern? Do I really have anything to contribute in creating or co creating
Mm-hmm.
this kind of a pattern in my life? It's a very difficult, I would say, it's a very difficult journey and very difficult work because we are not accustomed and we are not comfortable at all in coming to terms with our own frailties and weakness as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
We are superb in finding faults with others, but we are miserable when it comes to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot acknowledge that the problem, I am the problem. It's very difficult. It needs a lot of work, inner work that you have to do. And this is a matter of healing, Rosalind.
Yes.
Things have to be healed because, see, it's not that things are happening to you right now. It's because of a lot of things that have happened to you maybe in your childhood and which have remained unhealed. So, first of all, you have to, and this is something from an educator again, you cannot go around trying to cause a lot of positive differences in the lives of the people around you unless you are healed yourself.
Exactly.
Your inner child needs healing first. Then only you can touch somebody's lives magically, not before that. Even I would say, I would go to this extent of saying that don't even enter into any kind of relationship unless you are healed,
Right.
because not only you are causing yourself a big problem, but you are actually causing a very big harm to the other person as well.
That's so true. I think about when I was listening to you, I thought about when you get on the plane and they tell you if you have a child with you, don't put the mask on yourself first. I mean, the child first, put it on yourself first because you can't save the child if you can't save yourself. And that's the message. We have to work within first. Those voices that you spoke of earlier, those negative things, you have to silence those voices. But those voices can't be silenced if you're not healed. Those voices only get louder if you're not healed. But When you do the work and you go through the healing, you find your voice, you find your power, and you find who you are outside of the negativity and all of those things, those ugly things. So it's important to do the work. This is all still talking about successful living, how you can show up your best, be your best self. This is awesome. I mean, I am really enjoying this. I mean, the chat is blowing up. They're saying wonderful session, very informative. They're giving us a lot of hearts and likes and loves. They are. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Interested. They said, when thinking about success, it's essential to figure out which areas of life are most important to you. It is necessary to clarify the leading area of life in order to become clear about what you need to achieve in order to be successful in your own eyes. That goes back to the personal thing. You know, if we focus so much on everyone else's success, we miss our own. We miss our own. You know what they call success. Like you said, everybody has their own definition. So that oh my gosh, that just really blessed me. What is your message right now to the world, the entire world? What is your message?
My message is very simple, Rosalind. As an educator, I would say stop comparing your child to another child. This is exactly what you had said right now, that your definition of success will not match with the definition of success of somebody else. If that is so, if we realize this, don't we really have to acknowledge the fact that we just cannot go around comparing one unique personality with the other unique personality? We can't do that, but we do it on a daily basis. We cause this damage, we cause this harm. So as an educator, my message to all the parents, grandparents, is that stop comparing the child with anybody. And please realize that your child is not a trophy to be showcased to the world. Your child, your grandchild exists because it's his or her time. That is the reason your child exists. You have to be a very good observer. You have to be that person who observes and understands what excites him, what is that he prefers, what is it he likes or he dislikes. You have to be an observer. You have to take a back seat. You have to let your child fail. You have to allow your child to commit mistakes.
Yes.
Frequently. And you have to stop judging your child. And my message to the entire world, I think it's time now that we all have to realize that we cannot just go around stigmatizing failures and mistakes. It's time to destigmatize failures and mistakes and to understand that both failures as well as mistakes are an essential ingredient of any wonderful learning experience. Who has learned anything in this world without committing mistakes, without encountering failures? You tell me. If that is so, then why are we so stigmatized by mistakes and failures, and especially when they are being committed by our own children? We have to do away with this hypocrisy. And this is my message to the entire world. Allow your child to be the way he or she is meant to be. You are just a person who is going to facilitate that entire process of growth. But everything else will happen according to his own nature. You have to be an observer. You have to be a kind of a person who knows the art of taking a backseat and enjoying the entire process, rather than intervening and interrupting the process. This is my message to the entire world.
Beautiful. Yes, yes, yes. Tell us what's next for you. What is next for you?
The next thing that is there for me is to continue the work that I'm doing with the same passion and energy.
Yes,
That is the next for me. With the same passion, same energy, and same, kind of excitement that I feel when I think about something new. May God bless me with the same energy and vitality to continue the work that I'm committed to do and to continue the work for which He has sent me here.
yes, yes. That's purpose, purpose and destiny.
Purpose, yes.
Yes, I thank you so much for all your wisdom sharing with us, your presence. You are remarkable. You've always been from day one. Every time I interview you or have you on any platform, you always show up beautifully. And again, I salute you, my sister. I thank you so much for being with us on this beautiful platform. I thank you, IIU, and the whole team. I thank you so much for just tuning in, all of our listeners. I mean, really interacting and tuning in with us. And I just appreciate you, my sister. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much, Rosalind. I just cannot thank you enough. And let me tell you, I always feel that you are an amazing person. Amazing person. So I love the work that you do, and may you continue doing that. And I would definitely would like to thank International Internship University for inviting me in this talk show today. And may the university continue to flourish and do wonderful work that they are doing. And my best regards to Piyush. Piyush is very well known to me. So my best regards to him. And I really wish that he continues the wonderful work that he's doing. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Bye bye, everyone. And thank y'all. We'll see y'all next week.